All right, all right, what's going on, brothers? Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going well for you guys. All right, brothers. I'm gonna call this King Von is nothing new. Nothing against King Von, may he rest in peace. But he has the name. That's the name that rings out a lot now. And I wanted to do this because I was talking to one of my good friend of mine and how people quickly forget yesteryear, which I'm not mad at that. I understand that's just the way the world goes. Trust me, brothers. In next 20 years, Lord, if I'm able to, willing and able to see it, I guarantee a lot of people been and forgot what happened in 2025. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. But brothers, wise men look to the past to navigate the future. You can look to the past and navigate the future. The 48 laws of power use the past to talk about the laws. The 48 laws of game, written by Ken Ivey, he used the past to give credence to what he was talking about. Same with Machiavelli. He was talking about things that predated him in writing of his books, right? That's what that shows you. That there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. What motivates a man? What makes a man react certain ways? This, that, and third. What's his desires, and so on and so forth. These things are never changing, as they would say, right? Wisdom don't get old. But anyway, brothers, all these notorious killers across America, and we can go on. We can really go. We can go damn near state to state, city to city. Damn near if we could. but we know that'd be too long. But anyway, brothers, I'm just gonna show and name some notorious guys who is, as you would say, certified or verified street killers. You know what I mean? We're not gonna go into the serial killer things, but but bad boys, thugs, the gun pullers, the trigger pullers. So the King Vons are nothing new in the world, brothers. It's a lot of them out there, and it's been many of them out there for many decades. We'll just go from the '60s to now. There's been many King Vons walking the earth, many of them, but they usually end up killed. If they don't get killed, they usually go to prison. That's usually what saves their lives. Terrence Gangster Williams, I think he said he had admitted to over 20 murders. Some he did. I think he said some he did do, some he didn't do. But 20 murders. Of course, he went to prison. He's out now. I think he changed his life around. Good for him. He comes from New Orleans. I think Terrence started in the late '80s, early '90s. I think when his career started. But you guys can look him up. I think he tells his story. You know what I mean? Of course, for those in the underground, you would hear his name. You would hear people say his name back then. The rappers of New Orleans, especially that Cash Money crew, a lot of those guys would say his name. Of course he had a crew called the Hot Boys, the street crew Hot Boys. I think all those guys are dead though. And all of them were notorious killers. You know what I mean? Not just according to him, but according to a lot of those guys on the streets. You can look it up. They say it. I ain't from New Orleans, and I believe them. I'm like, yeah, them dudes. I mean, New Orleans is known for being wild. But anyway, so that's that. Of course, we have Monster Cody. May God rest his soul. You guys should look up his book, autobiography of an LA gang member. It's like reading a movie, man. Still one of the best books I ever read in my life. I don't glorify gangsterism, but I'm just saying, like, he was a very well written, articulate brother. How he written that book. It keeps your attention. You're like, wow, and the stuff, man. The name Monster fits him well, man. He was no joke, man. Serious guy in that streets. You know what I mean? An efficient killer. These are not things to glorify. Thank God he went to prison and changed his life. Not to mention this guy here was at the start and the heart of probably one of the most vicious street wars ever fought in American history. The rolling '60s against the A-Trade Gangster Crips. I think the war has since died down You brothers on the West Coast, you let me know. But I think the war has since died down. But he was at the start of it, and even at the heart of it, when it was really going heavy. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, this guy here, man, he played a lot of death. It's unfortunate, man. You know what I mean? Like I say, but he's just one of many. Monster Cody's just one of many. You think it ain't? You know how many Monster Codys there was walking around in L.A. at that time? Probably even now. Monster Cody almost got killed. I forget the dudes. They ripped him up. He was able to survive. Monster Cody almost died at a young age. I forget the dudes. But the dudes came and ripped him up, man. So that's the way it goes, man. As easy as you can pull a trigger, they can easily pull the trigger too. Now, this game is very vicious. So Monster Cody going to jail, they probably would save his life. Same with Terrence Gangster Williams. Because when you live that life, brother, you're going to eventually get killed yourself. Because it's just too easy to get you. Of course, you have Bloodhound Jeff. Died at a young age. Then they use this is how they end up and make Monster Cody rest in peace. He died of I think he may have died of I forgot how he passed away, brothers, but he didn't get killed. I think he died of natural causes. So may God rest his soul. May God rest Bloodhound Jeff's soul. He was a killer. Had a had a bad reputation here on the streets of Chicago. You know what I mean? I don't know how much of it's true, but I'm pretty sure a lot of it is true. When I'm an older guy, when I'm hearing about you in the streets, yeah, you doing something. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm hearing you and I'm an older guy and I hear and your name run across my board, like you doing something. You know what I'm saying? You doing something. So, but hey, look what happened to him. Bloodhound Jeff, all these guys are nothing new, bro. I'm telling you, like I was telling my friend, I'm like, the King Vons of the world, nothing new, man. I grew up with these type of guys. Majority of them end up getting killed. Of course, you have King Von himself. Due to social media, his name rings the loudest. Oh, King Von, King Von, woo, people. Oh, he the King Von of such and such. He King Von of Kentucky. You know how people talk. King Von was a killer, man. Right? Cool. May God rest his soul, but look what happened to him. That's what happens when you play that lifestyle, brothers. King Von ain't the only one, man. It's a lot of those guys were killers. A lot of those guys have killed people, man. A lot of them have. On both sides. Of course, the way they talk, like, yeah, they ops are pussies. That's how they always gonna talk. That's how they always talk. But what happens? They always get killed by the ops or whatever the case may be or whoever. You know how it go. So that's the way it goes. So, but that's why you're gonna end up like King Von and Lil Jeff. That's what end up happening to them. Majority of the time, those guys, they get killed. Clarence Preacher Heatley. This guy started in the 70s, like Monster Cody. These guys started in the 70s. Probably had one of the most murderous crews, as far as the inner city is concerned, with the black community in our American history. This guy was an efficient killing machine. And not only that, brother, he had a team of killers. It wasn't just him. He had a team of them. This dude is like the equivalent of what's that? Murder Inc. on the streets. Like, seriously, read up on this guy's case. I'm like, yo, this dude here that whole crew was crazy. And of course, they started killing one another. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Clarence Preacher Heatley, his crew is one who killed Darnell, Rich Porter's brother. His crew, Rich Porter's uncle was with that crew. He was with the Preacher crew. He killed his own nephew. So these guys were pretty vicious, man. To kill a little kid, that's pretty vicious. Of course, you have Teflon Sean. He's a guy out of D.C. He got locked up. Clarence Preacher Heatley's locked up. I think if Preacher didn't get locked up, he probably eventually got killed himself. Cause the way I just me reading about them, it seemed like their crew was already breaking down. Their crew, so chances are Preacher would probably end up getting killed himself anyway. That's just my view of it, because their crew had already started breaking down. That's just my view of it. But Teflon Sean, he got locked up. That probably what saved his life. This guy, he's a notorious hitman out of D.C., which we know D.C. got many of them guys. Many of them. You see where I'm going with this, brothers? And I believe this guy started in the 80s. You see? Big Head Gary, may God rest his soul. He killed Rich Porter for Alpo, and he killed the guy named Tank. Alpo, I don't think Alpo was lying on him, so we know he had 2 bodies on him that's been confirmed. Pretty sure he had more than that. But that's what these guys do. That's what these guys do. They killers. Of course, Alpo will end up having them killed later on. That's the life, brothers. You see what I'm saying? That's the life. That's how it goes. And he was in the 90s, this brother here, this young brother here. This is way before Bloodhound Jeff and Lil Von was probably even thought of. Shorty Pop, another notorious killer from what I've been hearing about. He from the D.C. area as well. Another notorious killer. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he ended up getting killed himself. That's the way this game goes, brothers. I don't care if you from New York, Chicago, Minnesota, L.A., hell, even Seattle, Tacoma. It's the same old story. Same old story. Either you're going to get locked up or you're going to get killed. One of the two. One of the two. And, that's just the way it goes. Of course, Wayne Perry, who probably has, probably the King Von before King Von. And what I mean by that far is the reputation. A lot of brothers might don't remember in the mid to 2000s, this the name that was ringing out. Wayne Perry, Wayne Perry, Wayne Perry. He's like the Michael Jordan of murder game. Wayne Perry, Wayne Perry. That's all you heard was his name. Now, just like you hearing King Von name a lot, that's how you was hearing this guy Wayne Perry. You was hearing this name a lot, right? And his reputation blew up due to the DVD eras and things like that. You know what I mean? And of course, you would get the DVD eras. It would talk about these guys that their exploits, so on and so forth. And he got locked up. Chances are he would have got killed too, I believe. If Wayne Perry wouldn't have got locked up, I believe he would have got killed. But hey, it is what it is. Of course, you have Alpo. This guy, Alpo is of course, he's passed away now. May God rest his soul. He told, and copped out to 14 murders. 14 murders, I think this guy copped out to. That's a lot of damn murders. You see what I'm saying? So this dude here was no joke, man. Now, he didn't pull the trigger on every murders. You know what I'm saying? But he pulled his trigger. He pulled his gun quite a few times. You guys can read up on his paperwork and things like that. But yeah, of course, he went to prison. I think that's the only thing they say to him. And even he almost got killed. They capped him up, and he was able to survive, but he even almost got killed himself. You see what I'm saying? But you see that it's the same trajectory. Either they get killed or they go to prison. Now, he was able to get out of prison and enjoy himself for a couple more years before he would eventually get killed. I know the guy who killed him, if I'm not mistaken, they dropped the case on the guy. The guy who killed him was able to beat the case. But anyway, for whatever reason it is what it is, man, the man's gone. May God rest his soul. But that's it, man. It's nothing new under the sun, brothers. If history don't repeat itself, it sure does rhyme. King Von is nothing new. I'm out. Peace.